Debbie, the brazen Ms. Chazen.
Yes.
My question is, what did you know about Doctor Who before you were cast in Voyage of the Damned?
Well, I will admit that I didn't watch it up until Russell started writing it, because Russell I'd met before on Mine All Mine in God knows what year. But so that was when I started taking an interest in it. But my late father was actually in an episode, I think in 1969. Oh gosh, it's gone completely out of my head what the name of the episode was, but he was poisoned. And forgive me, I tell this story all the time because I love this story, so forgive me if you've heard it before. But when I was in Doctor Who, my late father was a supporting artiste, and or an extra, as they used to call them, a background artist. Yeah. And he did so much stuff that he would never tell us what he was in, because it was just like, run of the mill. He'd come home and say things like, oh yeah, who was in that film I did today? Sir Lawrence Olive something, can't remember. I think he's big, I don't know. And we'd be like, Dad! Anyway, so when I was in Doctor Who, someone sent me a still from the episode my late father was in, and he was standing like this. I don't know if you can see me, but like that. And my late father was also an opera singer, and I thought, oh my God, he was in an episode of Doctor Who as an opera singer. That's amazing, because he looked like he was singing some big aria. And then someone else sent me a DVD or a clip of his episode, and he was actually being poisoned. Yeah. And it was the worst acting I've ever seen. Brilliantly terrible, but he was literally going and not singing at all. so that was really the only time I'd sort of taken notice of Doctor Who. But we were my parents divorced when I was young, so there were lots of girls in the family, and Doctor Who wasn't really our viewing. We watched things like Anne of Green Gables and stuff like that. So I'm terribly sorry. But when Russell took over, suddenly fell in love, and I'm now a big fan.
I'll say a big hello to Richard Ashton. Richard, give us a wave and say hello.
Hello.
Cedric, are you there with us?
Yes, if you can hear me. Richard, how comfortable was that suit to wear?
I used to do quite a bit of bucket on head acting, and I was one of the Mondos in The Fifth Element, in which people passed out and had to go to hospital. The Ice Warrior is the heaviest thing I've ever lifted in my life. I wore real steel, chainmail in Vikings, which compressed my spine by about 1.5 inches. That wasn't as heavy as the Ice Warrior suit. I was promised all, but there were other people. I mean, Jamie Hill, for instance, and Jamie's done so many of the creatures and monsters in New Who. Yeah, and he's pretty tough. He's also 25 years younger than me. No, that's getting up there. That's the hottest, heaviest thing there is. And when you think about it, we're not moving terribly much. But it was. Yeah, I mean, what am I? I'm about 20 stone, I suppose. Quite used to physical weight. That was the heaviest thing I've ever had, and also quite disorientating. I don't know if people have, everyone's picked up on this. If you look at the reference shots that came out through Blog to Who, they had to strip off 3 layers of the lenses and drill a bunch of holes in my good eye, in order for me to be able to see anything. So, kind of a sensory deprivation suit with a ton weight on your back. It was, I miss Friday, I really do. And if he came back, I'd love to do it. But I'd have to do about 6 weeks in the gym before I did.
Hey, listen, it's lockdown. We'd all have to do at least 6 weeks in the gym. I'd have to do it just to get out of the house, I think. Cedric, thanks ever so much for your question.